Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I promised to before that I will create a video in which I will be examining whether Ibn Arabi's fixed entities, aʿyān al-thābita, are the same as what Rumi calls maʿānī, the plural of maʿnī in Arabic, which can be translated into English as meanings, realities. Although the terms are different, do they refer to the same thing? Some scholars reject this equality completely, saying that Rumi never uses fixed entities. Others say, well, although the terms are not exactly the same, based on what we see, they refer to the same thing. Which begs the question, which group is right? This video is part of a long research, a paper that I have co-authored, link in description, that answers Rumi's epistemology and classifies his mystical experience types. And this part, the clash between fixed entities and meanings, are from that paper. So if you want to read things in detail, that paper is your guide. Here I will be giving you a holistic picture. Here I will not be giving you a comprehensive analysis of fixed entities, aʿyān al-thābita, because I've already done that in detail in another video which I will link here. But suffice it to say that the fixed entities, the term fixed entity, ayn thābita, is most famously used by Ibn Arabi and the Sufis and metaphysicians that come after Ibn Arabi in the Akbarian school, like Sayyid Ḥaydar, Āmulī, like Jami, Kashani. But Rumi does not use this word. He avoids it. He uses maʿānī. And this choice seems not to be arbitrary. It underscores a deliberate divergence in how the two thinkers view eternal realities. Let's examine this in detail. Firstly, the term fixed entity, ayn thābita, plural aʿyān thābita, is a very technical term, and it is associated with a whole framed school of thought, that of Ibn Arabi, Ibn Arabi's metaphysics, Sufism. That system itself is not for the public. It is articulated within a doctrinal framework, and it is not public-friendly at all. The texts are very heavy. Just read the first chapter of Fusus al-Hikam, Ibn Arabi's Fusus al-Hikam, you'll understand what I mean. So this term emerges within a context, but for Rumi, the term maʿānī, meanings, is not like that, even if they may point to the same thing, which we will learn about at the end of this video. But the word is more generic. Through this term, Rumi shows that he's not doing doctrinal analysis here. His discussion, when he discusses meanings, is more universal, often articulated with an effective, poetic, and metaphoric language, without getting into doctrines. This divergence directly influences the accessibility. Like I said, the heavy term ayn thābita points to its doctrinal significance. And to understand it, people who want to read about this word, they should understand the context, they should understand the system, they should understand the framework. But for Rumi, that is not the case. The fixed entities as a term seems more abstract terminology than meanings. That is the first difference. Rumi does not care for frameworks. He is targeting the public, not the elite per se. For example, when discussing maʿānī, he usually has several imageries, one of which is the foam in relation to the sea. The foam is the material existence, the existent entities. The sea refers to meanings. This imagery invites even the most uninitiated in metaphysical discourse, especially heavy discourse like Ibn Arabi's, to grasp these eternal realities in a simply digested and prepared way. Despite these differences, though, there are significant similarities and sharedness between the two terminologies. For Ibn Arabi, the fixed entities are, in one sense, please watch that video, this is not going to make much sense. The fixed entities are the intelligible forms of divine names in divine knowledge. in another aspect, they are the quiddities, essences, but essence is the wrong word. Just I'm using it to transfer what I want to say. They are the essences, the archetypes, none of which are exact terms. Neither essences nor archetypes. So they are the essences or archetypes of the physical entities, the entities in the corporeal world. So in a sense, it is through them that the material world is created and managed. In Rumi's usage, similarly, the meanings are the eternal realities dwelling in the world of realities. We're going to see what he means by that. And they too relate to the physical world, but like Ibn Arabi's account, in sharp contrast to the physical entities, the existent entities. In both frameworks, these truths, these realities transcend temporality and dwell in God's knowledge. Fixed entities refer to the divine names, representing determinations, limitations of the undetermined, undelimited essence of the divine. Rumi's meanings also represent names. So in both terminologies, the divine names are the metaphysical scaffolding of the entire existence. In both frameworks, the fixed entities transcend both the physical and the material world, exclusively dwelling in God's knowledge. Ibn Arabi's fixed entities are central in the unveiling process. It is through contemplating the fixed entities that the mystic receives mystical knowledge. Similarly, for Rumi, mystical experience requires dissolving into meanings and accessing divine truths, the realities, importantly through love. Both fixed entities and meanings facilitate higher knowledge and existential realities. Additionally, both fixed entities and meanings are the metaphysical origin and the destination of the human beings. Ibn Arabi's fixed entities are the quiddities from which the physical entities emanate, guiding the soul's return to divine unity. Rumi illustrates this journey as driven by divine love, where human existence originates in meaning and culminates in divine unity in the world of meanings, that is, in the world of God's knowledge. So far, we can safely say that although there are differences of terminology and some differences in use, the two terms share too much. The fixed entities underscore a metaphysical doctrine grounded in divine knowledge, understood and targeted at the elite. And by elite, I mean the trained metaphysicians or the Sufis, not the public practices. Rumi's meanings, however, are more universal, transcending doctrinal frameworks and appealing more to the public and the trained ones. Despite the differences and similarities, these two terms show the interplay of this metaphysical concept. Whether Rumi really is referring to the fixed entities is unclear. I mean, as a term that Ibn Arabi uses, otherwise he would have used it. But functionally, what he's doing seems to be what Ibn Arabi was referring to as fixed entities. But importantly, functionally, he's not targeting the trained intellectuals. He's targeting a broader audience. That's why it seems to me that he's using a more universal term. To conclude, the comparative analysis of the fixed entities and meanings point to the universality versus precision, doctrinal framework, or transcending doctrinal boundaries, targeting the elite versus targeting the public. But together they offer a holistic picture of metaphysical realities, balancing metaphysical abstraction with spiritual immediacy. Such a divergence reflects the multifaceted divine realities which invite both intellectual contemplation and mystical contemplation, intellectual rigor and heartfelt experience. Thanks for watching.